Yo, what up, what up, what up? Ladies and gentlemen, the fellas. 5:33 p.m. East Coast time. What the game started? 7:20 tonight, 7:10, something like that. We got 2 Monday Night Football games. A tradition unlike any other. 2 Monday Night Football games every single week one of the NFL season, and then you get none for the final week. None. But we get 2 right now. What up, what up, what up? Mike, what's going on in here? Everybody. I see a bunch of people hopping in. We set up this stream. We got like 150 people before we even hit go. And now we got a bunch of maniacs in the chat right now in a good way. What up, people? How you doing? How you all doing? Hope you're having a good day today. Let me blow this up a little bit more so you can all see what we got going on the screen. I'll go through the positions. We'll talk about it. We'll answer questions. I got my exposures. We started like 2 minutes late. Apologize for that. I just saw the Golden Tate news, so I was updating projections. They're all updated on Patreon now, and I was updating my own exposures for tonight. And I have lineups reserved, but I had to make sure that I changed my exposures so I can talk about everything and answer questions with 100% up-to-date information now that Golden Tate is out. And I assume Sutton has been officially ruled out. If not, it looks like he's doubtful. He has been taken out of my projections as well. And we go from there. So I'm going to answer all the questions. I'm going to start off by saying thank you, everybody. We had a great first week. And the first week is still going with Monday Night Football 2 games. I can't be any happier with just all the stuff that ended up happening with the viewership, all the stuff that ended up happening with support. So appreciate everything in advance. See a lot of people in here right now. So what's up? How's everybody doing? Yeah, we're going to go and we're going to get it. Somebody needs a theme song to come into the show with. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I probably have to set that up to have it play internally. But yeah, you need it to be like copyright free, but I'm sure there's stuff out there. So yeah, going to start it off. This show is going to be sponsored by Superdraft. Superdraft is not doing the 2-game slate tonight. If you're not familiar with Superdraft, it's a multiplier format, no salary caps. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. It's the logo up above. They're not doing the 2-game slate, but they're doing 2 Showdown slates, a $2,500 first contest, a $1,500 first contest. And as of right now, they have about 750 spots left in their main contest, the Hail Mary, for their 7 o'clock showdown, and then they have a ton of contests left for the 10 p.m. because that doesn't start for a while. They got almost 1,000 spots left in that one. If you use the promo code SALLY, get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000 Rooskies. I have Superdraft projections. I have all that stuff for the main slates. The showdown slates today, I don't think the multipliers came through, but all the projections will work the same. You just use the multiplier for it. So yeah, appreciate it. If you want to support them, they are linked down below. And yeah, there's going to be a ton of overlay. There was a ton of overlay on last night's showdown. It was like only 70% full. So even having Blake draw win in half my lineups, I was still able to have a fine night relative to Blake Jarwin going out very early. Hopefully he's okay, and obviously he doesn't seem okay, but long term, hopefully he's fine. So what is going on, everybody? Somebody saying big mood in the chat. Yeah, big mood for sure. So yeah, we got the news on Golden Tate. Seems like we got the news on Sutton. I'm tracking any other news, and I'm sure people will let me know if anything. Is Shepard a must play? Somebody says. If you're telling me that you're playing one lineup, then yeah, Sterling Shepard would be the guy that I'm choosing there. I have a lot of Sterling Shepard now. My last crunch, I got 85% Sterling Shepard. I'm gonna have a lot of Giants. I don't know what to do about it. I set rules so I don't get too many Giants. Like I'm not getting like 6 Giants from a team. I'm not even getting 5 Giants from any team. So I have rules set for this 2-game slate, of course, right? Stacking and all that stuff, taking into account likelihoods of just overall game stacks winning at higher clips on a 2-game slate and all that. And naturally just having more stacks because there's only 2 games to choose from. But yeah, I've got a lot of Sterling Shepard right now. This can change. I ended up taking Sterling Shepard's projection went up. If you are a Patreon, you can see like the exact numbers of everybody's. But you can see that Sterling Shepard's projection went up about 2 points the second Golden Tate went out. And a lot of that has to do with the overall target projection, but me also assuming that he goes into the slot, and that's going to be more catch rate goes up, right? Your conversions of your targets are going to go up. So Shepard looks better. Darius Slayton looks better. I don't know who they're going to fill in as the wide receiver 3. Is it Damian Ratley, who just got picked up from Cleveland when he got dropped? I had Damian Ratley projected as the wide receiver 4 in this game, which obviously he takes a seat behind Saquon and even Evan Ingram in the receiving game. So even right now, Damian Ratley as the wide receiver 3 in this team is still looking like the 5th option on the team. But he went from like a 1.5 projection to 4.5. He's really not in play for me, but seems like he's going to be on the field at least. A lot of people in here right now. What's going on? Welcome. Yes, we are in here right now talking about the 2 Monday Night Football games. It's the 2-game slate. I haven't really looked much at the showdown stuff outside of Superdraft. About 500 people watching live, so I appreciate all of you. If you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to get into all the questions that you have. We'll go through the position by position stuff. We'll talk about it. We'll have a conversation, and we'll go from there. So you can see some stuff on the screen right now for running backs. And I'm going to start answering these questions. We got a lot of people in here, so I'm going to try and pound them all out for y'all. Get them all in. Smash that like. Clayton in the house. Sal, you late? Fred says you late. Yeah, I was updating some stuff. What's up? Sal and the fellas, what's going on? Sal, how you doing on the best day of the week? I like it. Yeah, best day of the week's a Monday. I know a lot of people don't feel that way. I know it's like the grind on Monday morning for some people. But if you're not waking up on Monday and excited to start a new week, you got to change what your Monday routine is or just your daily routine. How about them Bears? How about my Packers, man? Damn, I was watching at a bar. My man Aaron Rodgers turned back the clock. He said in an interview he saw something in the 2010 tape about his game that he thinks he's fixed. I don't know what he saw, but that man was literally playing like 2010 Aaron Rodgers. That stuff was crazy. You playing the Showdown? I don't have any lineups into the Showdown right now. I will be playing the Superdraft Showdowns. But as of Draftkings, I always prefer the 2-game slates. Maybe I'll play the 10 o'clock Showdown, but I doubt it. I'm probably going to be in bed before that thing starts, or right around when it starts by 10 p.m. Any love for Ratley with Tate out and being a new signing? Not a lot. No, I gave him like 4 fantasy points as of right now. Big Ben is always bad on the road. Is Tannehill a better player? So right now I think I'm actually getting more Tannehill. I'm getting more Tannehill right now than Big Ben. Still have a decent amount of Big Ben. I'm getting the least Drew Lock as of right now. I'm getting more Tannehill than I expected. I actually had more Big Ben than Tannehill, believe it or not, until this Golden Tate news just went in. So I'm really not sure what that altered. I assume that it probably allowed me to get more. I'm going to assume it allowed me to get like more Jerry Jeudy just in the price range, and then it allowed me to get more of those secondary Pittsburgh, or less of those secondary Pittsburgh receivers, less of Juju Smith-Schuster, so I get less Big Ben stacks because of Golden Tate's price point. It probably just dumped a lot more ownership into Sterling Shepard, into Darius Slayton, and went with more balanced approaches if I had to guess what the optimizer was doing. A lot of people coming in. Can we just talk about Tate being out real quick? Who's the play? Yeah, so we just talked about it. Tate being out is going to bump up Sterling Shepard, who I assume goes into the slot. It's going to give Evan Ingram more usage in the middle of the field. Obviously, Ratley gets on the field more. Darius Slayton, you can expect another look or two. Biggest bump for me was for Sterling Shepard, though. Sal, buddy, big fan. Appreciate it. What's going on, Matt? How you doing? Yes, sir. Winning lineup. Winning my league so far, 200 plus. Thanks, Sal. Nice, man. Yeah. So right now I'm in 5 season-long leagues. It looks like I'm going to go at least 3-2. There's a chance I can go 4-1 tonight, and I definitely would have picked up another one if Blake Jarwin didn't get hurt, because I think I'm going to lose in that league by like 3, and I had Jarwin. Shepard, Ingram, Saquon for your Giants stack. I assume you're playing Daniel Jones in that lineup as well. Yeah, on a 2-game slate, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with triple stacking. I don't really want to get more than 4 players from a team. I have my exposures set to 4 right now. That means that I can't get 4 players and their defense. It can be a route, right? Like Daniel Jones throws 3 touchdowns today. Saquon gets in on the ground. Like, they can have 4 players go off in their lineup, and their defense can get a pick 6 and be the winning defense, right? It's possible. So I'm debating setting it to 5, but right now I have it set to 4, with a lot of my lineups having 4 players from a team or 3 players from a team in there. The 5, a lot has to go right. It kind of has to be a route. The defense has to score on a pick 6, and that pick 6 or fumble recovery for 6 or special teams touchdown, right? Whatever they're doing, it has to not affect the overall scoring outcome of the offense, and that usually only happens in like these. The offense gets up by 30, and then the other team, they can pin your ears back, right? Bring pressure. Other team forced into mistakes, and that's where you get your pick 6s late. It has to be a very specific game flow, which I can build stacks for that, but I think I'm just not going to. You nailed it on the Scott call. He sucked. No, man, I was all on Scott. And look, here's the thing with Boston Scott. He was the right play, right? I mean, if you want to look at any expert in the league, whether it's Levitan's cash lineup, whether it's Awesemo having him as the number 1 play, me having him as the number 1 play after everything, just analyzing Awesemo's lineups, and Levitan's, yeah, I mean, he was the right play. The man gets hurt in the third quarter, misses the whole third quarter, and is limited in the fourth quarter. Like, people don't want to talk about that. He had 7 points in the first half, which at $4,800, I mean, that's fine. 7 points in the first half, or 6.4 points in the first half. Second half, he only gets 1 point because he was injured the entire third quarter, and then he plays limited snaps in the fourth quarter. He played like 66% of the snaps in the first half, and then he was in like the low 40s in the second half. 100% Saquon, somebody says. I don't have 100% Saquon, believe it or not, but I have 87% Saquon right now. Is Tate out? Yes, Tate's out. Is Claypool viable? Downin donates $2 to the stream. So I see a bunch of people donating. I appreciate that. I'm going to hit on all these right now, actually. Downin donates $2. He says, is Claypool viable? Yes, I have Claypool. I have Claypool in my ownership right now. I have like 2% Claypool, but I think he's more viable than I'm getting him. The problem is, like, I just have Juju. Well, really, I just have Deontay Johnson and James Washington projected for more, right? I have them projected much better at this point. I have other cheap wide receivers. There's just too many good cheap wide receivers on this slate. Like Claypool, yes, he's $3,100. But I have, now that Cortland Sutton's out, Deshaun Hamilton I have projected better than Claypool. Because look, Claypool is going to be the wide receiver 4 in his team, right? At best, he's the wide receiver 4 today on his team. There's a lot better options, and he's a rookie, so it's really hard to take over a mantle as a wide receiver 3 or 2 in your first week, especially when you have talented players like James Washington, Juju, and Deontay Johnson in front of you. Not even to mention the ground game, right? Which is always a big deal for Pittsburgh. So, yeah, it's tough to want to get to Claypool. I can't project him out for anything that great. I have him for like 4 fantasy points or so. look, there's just way better options. Like I have Corey Davis, who's in the 3K range as well for double the fantasy points. I've got guys like Jerry Jeudy and all the Steelers receivers looking like decent options right now. I'll flip it over to wide receiver. Damn, Raven donated $20 to the stream. I appreciate that. Thank you. Gervisius Raven. I'm not really sure how to pronounce the first name. I apologize. Gervisius. Very cool name. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks a ton. Too kind, people. Too kind. What do we got in here? Almost 650 people live. Melvin Gordon seems like he's a top value spot. Yeah, Melvin Gordon looks like a really good value. I'm getting a lot of Melvin Gordon. I currently have 60+% Melvin Gordon on a 2-game slate. You would assume that that's going to be pretty average. Melvin Gordon on the projections. Also, all the projections are up for this 2-game slate. They're on Patreon. A bunch of people over there joined during the week. Welcome if you're a new Patreon. If you're considering it, you got any questions, let me know. But yeah, Melvin Gordon right now for me is my number one value play at running back. Look, he's $5,100. Even if you think it's a 50-50 split, he is the goal line back. He is the better pass catching back, in my opinion, than Philip Lindsay. And if you don't believe it, go look at the statistics. Over the last 1.5 to 2 years, Lindsay can catch passes, yes. People think that he profiles out more as a pass catcher, but he's actually better in between the tackles than he is in the passing game. That's why Royce Freeman got more work than Philip Lindsay down the rest of the year last year. Aaron Rodgers and the lost tapes, says Garth. Man, my man Garth, too funny. What's up, Garth? Ladies in the house. Yes. What's going on? How you doing? Ladies, gentlemen, everybody, how y'all doing? Big Ben or Jones? I have more Jones right now. How did you do yesterday, Sal? On the main slate, I went down, I think, 17%, and a lot of that was because I had 79% Boston Scott. And then on the late slate, it was actually saved by, I'd say more so Superdraft, but on the late slate, aka the Showdown slate, on Sunday Night Football yesterday, did fine. I wasn't even going to play the Showdown slate because I got home from the bar hanging out, and I just did the Showdown slate projections, put them up on Patreon. I was like, screw it, I'm playing it. Ran 150. Ended up with Showdown slate just from Draftkings. It was like down 5% still for week 1. Again, Boston Scott getting injured really hurts that. But Superdraft at the end of the night, I finished like top 10 in Superdraft's main contest, which actually put it to like a plus, I think, 3% on the week. But yeah, there was like points. If that Kamara touchdown, I don't know if you guys saw, the final seconds of the game, Kamara scores a third touchdown. I was walking out the door, so I thought he scored. I still don't know what happened. A flag maybe. I don't know what happened. But if he gets in there, it's probably like a plus 10%, plus 12% week. In cash games, I did fine. This is all talking about tournament-wise. In cash games, I think I was up like 67% or 69%, somewhere around there. Cash games are fine because, if you have Scott scoring 7 points at that price point, but then you also have Devontae Adams in your lineups and Julio Jones, it's going to be good. I'm fading Henry. How do you feel about Melvin? I like Melvin. I got more Melvin than Henry right now. Chase Claypool is a tournament play, question mark. I think Chase Claypool is in play. You can play him. I have him right now as a play in GPPs. I personally only have like one lineup with Chase Claypool, 1 or 2 right now. I don't have him projected out good. I can't give Chase Claypool similar points to James Washington or Deontay Johnson as a projection because how he's a wide receiver 4. Those guys are going to see the starting snaps. Chase Claypool might only run. He can go out there and be the wide receiver 3. We don't know what this team is actually planning to do with him. My assumption is he's the wide receiver 4, and as a wide receiver 4, he's not going to play many snaps, maybe 20%, maybe runs like 10 routes, and maybe sees 1 or 2 targets, right? So who do you like better, Juju or Brown? I'll go Brown. Darius Slayton or Judy? I like both, but I'm going to go Judy. Hit the like and subscribe button. It says Mike. Appreciate you, Mike. Yeah. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We're just crushing through subscribers. The next goal is 28,000 subscribers, so you all rock a ton. We hit through 27,000 yesterday, so thank you. I appreciate that in advance. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody, and we just hit 700 people live. Hope you all having a great day. Hit that like, subscribe. Are you nervous about Joe Mixon in season long? No, I'm not. I ended up getting a lot of Joe Mixon early in the season. I don't have him in any of my main 5 leagues, I think. Josh Jacobs. I might have got Mixon actually in the Awesemo Dynasty League. I think I do have him there. But no, I'm not nervous about it. Look, it's a tough matchup against that defensive line, right? Even if Derwin James is not in there in the secondary, the defensive line for Joe Mixon is going to be an issue. And they're trailing. Just awful game script. I would have liked to see more receptions overall. But yeah. How do you rank the main running backs tonight? Saquon 1. So, it depends what you want to say by rank. Straight up projection, point per dollar value. Saquon, Connor, Gordon, and Henry are in a bunch of their own. I have only those 4. I have one lineup with Philip Lindsay right now. I do think Philip Lindsay is better than having just one lineup of, but I'm personally just, the way that my projections are playing out, those are the guys that I'm getting. I just have them projected for much more points than Lindsay. Yes, the ceiling on Lindsay, if you take it into account more, like if he gets in the end zone, if he sees actually more than 45% of the snaps or 40%, Yeah, it's going to be higher than the projection I have for him at 9.3 points, which isn't a terrible projection at its price point. I just have everybody else projected for so much better points. So those main 4 guys are the 4 guys that I want to own tonight. I have a lot of those 4 guys I have at 50+% ownership each. That really shouldn't shock anybody because obviously there's a flex spot, so you're going to get a lot of lineups with 3 of those guys in there. Mike Williams played yesterday with the same injury as Sutton. We shall see if he suits up like Mike Williams did. Yeah, Mike Williams saw 8 targets on 30 routes. Got a lot of usage. Tyler Taylor looked his way a lot. Maybe it was a matchup thing. Keenan Allen facing Chris Harris Jr. in the slot. Got a lot of Desmond King, which was the best matchup for Mike Williams. I think he saw some Casey Hayward as well, which is not as good. Shout out former Packer. But yeah, it could be the same injury, but it does not mean it's the same severity, right? If you get an injury, first of all, it's about how fresh it is, right? That's one thing. And 2, it's about the severity of it. It seemed like Mike Williams' injury, if it is the same as Sutton's going to be out for 2 or 3 weeks. They got the injury wrong on Mike Williams. Mike Williams was supposed to miss a month of the season based on his first diagnosis. It was nowhere near as severe as they thought it was. So it's all about the severity. If they think it's the same as Mike Williams initially, yeah, Sutton's definitely not playing tonight. But yeah, it's yet to be seen. He's doubtful, unlikely to play. We'll see. Sad, do you think the Giants are winning this game? Do I think the Giants are going to be winning this game? I guess I'll lean no, but I don't think Pittsburgh's as good as advertised. I would like the points on the Giants side of it. Obviously, Tate being out doesn't help as much. Why aren't you high on Henry, especially with Von Miller out? Von Miller out really doesn't matter too much for me there. I'm high on Henry. I got 50+% of Derrick Henry. He's just $7,500, and the other guys project out better than him. If Derrick Henry establishes a passing game role tonight, then yeah, he's going to be a fantastic play at $7,500. I'm not down on Derrick Henry. It's just when I have James Conner projected for like the similar points to Derrick Henry for $1,100 less, I don't know how I'm supposed to get more Derrick Henry there. When I have Saquon Barkley projected for way more points than Derrick Henry at a similar price point, I'm just going to get more Saquon there. And then when I have Melvin Gordon at $5,100 projected for more than 12.5 fantasy points, I'm just going to get way more Melvin Gordon there. So I'm having a line of lineups with Gordon, Barkley, and Conner in them, I'm assuming, based on projections. But I still have over 50% Derrick Henry. I'm not down on him. I assume his ownership comes in higher than that. But if you're using an optimizer, it's really hard to get much higher than that. Like, if I had to guess, I'd say Derrick Henry's ownership is like 60%. If I had to guess. I haven't even looked at any ownership stuff tonight. So I guess I'm going to be below it. But I'm above the field on Barkley. I'm above the field on Conner. I'm above the field by a very wide margin. It's appearing on Melvin Gordon. Yeah, if Melvin Gordon is going to be if Melvin Gordon is going to be a 50-50 back split with Philip Lindsay, I still like Melvin Gordon. I still like him at that price point. And I don't think he's going to be right away. I don't. I think it's going to be a 60 to 65%. We know Ben likes a tight end. Does it bump up Ebron? Yeah, I like Ebron. All the tight ends after Eric or after Evan Ingram, though, it's like not even close. Like, let me see this. Evan Ingram is by far my highest owned tight end. I got 73% Evan Ingram. Everybody else is just the same, right? They're all the same after that. It's like 10, 9, 8% is my ownership after that. So I do like Ebron. It's just now that Sterling Shepard is out. I had more Ebron before Sterling Shepard went out. I had like close to 15 or 20%. He was my second highest owned guy. Now it's just all these guys are like 2A, 2B, 2C. They all look familiar. They all look the same to me. So it's hard not to like Ingram. Whatever Ingram's ownership is, I assume it's going to be too low because it's a 2-game slate with 4 names that people know at the tight end position. Definitely know them. But Evan Ingram, like, by all accounts, is very hard to fade now. He got like a point bump up in my projections after the news on Golden Tate was in. So it's so hard not to want to get a lot of Evan Ingram. As long as he stays healthy, it's really hard not to see how he doesn't pop off. I just want to make sure that everything I'm doing with these stacks are going to be proper now after everything that changed. I want to make sure that I allow myself to get a lot of players from a team if I need to. But yeah, Sterling Shepard to me now looks like by far the best wide receiver play in the slate. My highest owned player at every single position, I'm assuming, is going to be Giants. They're just all in great spots now. I'm 8 points from the win. Jonnu Smith tonight or Ebron? Yeah, I don't think you ever really like. I don't think it's going to matter. So I know that probably doesn't make sense to you. How is it not going to matter? I want to win. Look, I have Jonnu Smith projected for 8.2 points. I have Ebron projected for 8.3. So you can go with Ebron if you want. Just assuming that they're going to pass more, higher team total. So I would go with Ebron, but I have them pretty much the same. Top tight end, Evan Ingram, and it's not even close. Sal Vetri, what's your Superdraft handle? I think my Superdraft handle is Sal Vetri. I'm pretty sure it's Sal Vetri, like my name. Any Caden Smith running a small amount of him in tournaments? No, none. I have the 4 main tight ends, and then the only other tight end I have literally, after that, I have literally one lineup with Vance McDonald right now. And that's just randomly popping up. Garth donates $50. Sal, we had a pretty good day yesterday. I appreciate everything you do. Hope everyone is well. Good luck tonight, folks. This man Garth has donated this week, I'm pretty sure, like $200 to this stream. Thank you, Garth. You are fantastic. You are a huge reason why I get to do what I'm doing, because supporters like you. So thank you, honestly. I don't know where this man Garth is. I don't usually extend offers to strangers, and I'm probably still not going to. But yes, if you're ever in the same bar as me and you recognize me, I got the beers, man, or the drinks, or the waters, if that's your thing. To each their own. I was listening to Joe Rogan today, and he was talking about some non-alcoholic beer, a Heineken or something that tastes exactly like beer, the first one he's ever had. So if that's your thing too, there you go. Jamin, 3 running back studs for cash. Yeah, that seems fine. Yeah. I'm not against cash either on a 2-game slate. Philly Eagles says Christian Kirk sucks. Terrible take. Oof, that's a bad take if you think Christian Kirk sucks. If after 1 week, when stated in my video on Friday, Christian Kirk was in, I actually think I word for word said the worst matchup on the entire week for a wide receiver, sacrificed to Richard Sherman's side of the field. Christian Kirk ran 45 routes this week. 45 routes. When DeAndre Hopkins, they put DeAndre Hopkins on the opposite side of Richard Sherman, so that obviously he doesn't have to face Richard Sherman. And boy, oh boy. Christian Kirk got shut down. I would say that 99% of receivers are going to get shut down by Richard Sherman. But if you're going to say Christian Kirk sucks after 1 week against Richard Sherman, oof, man. The hot takes are out and about today. That Kamara TD called back saved someone in Al's Discord from losing 100K. Damn, that's crazy. Kamara touchdown reversal let me cash by 1 point. Yeah, it would have been the difference. It would have been like a 7% profit difference for me. It actually would have probably been higher because I played Kamara in cash. So I didn't even take that into account. Because I was just looking at GPP lineups. Kamara touchdown reversal cost me 10K for Garth. My God, I'm going to send you back to 50. Is Sutton out? Somebody can speak on if they've officially ruled Sutton out yet, but he was ruled very doubtful, so I just kind of assumed it. What's we got here? Steve donates $5 to the stream. Thank you, Steve. Very kind of you. He says, had a great start to the season. You're the go-to guy for info. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, Garth with the 50. Damn, Garth, I see you. People are shouting out Garth right now. Yeah, man. Shout out Garth. I wish there was a way for people to just donate straight to Garth right now. It defeats the purpose, of course. But yeah, on a call, but wanted to send the kisses to the fam. Nice. Hamilton or Patrick is better. So the way that I'm viewing this right now is that Hamilton's primarily a slot receiver. That's what he was at Penn State. And they're definitely going to be putting Jerry Jeudy on the outside more. So I think Hamilton's actually going to be taking on the slot role now, which hurts Jeudy a little bit, but not enough to really matter in my opinion, at least at the price points. So I have Hamilton looking like the better play, but I think Tim Patrick, he's a clear outside receiver. I think they're going to split snaps, Hamilton and Patrick. So I have them both looking like okay plays, but I have Hamilton looking like a better play point per dollar wise. Jeudy or Johnson? Why is the name Johnson not ringing in my head right now? Who is Johnson? Deontay Johnson? I assume. I don't know why I just had like a brain fart. Jeudy. My bad. Yeah, I literally just spaced out on Johnson. I was like thinking of running backs for some reason. And I was like, there's no Chris Johnson in the NFL. Sal, does Connor correlate well with Ben? So here's the thing. The answer is no. Relative to other running backs, the answer is meh, like not really. Correlation is directly tied to receivers and tight ends is direct, right? Unless they're going to run the ball like a Robert Woods or Debo who gets a couple of carries a game. Chenault got 2 carries, right? If a wide receiver doesn't run the ball, all their points are correlated to their quarterback. If it's a 30-yard touchdown, all those points are directly correlated to him, right? They're benefiting each other. A running back, obviously, James Conner, if he sees 15 carries tonight and only 3 receptions, most of his points, unless those 3 receptions are all huge gains and a couple of touchdowns, most of his points, more times than not, aren't going to be correlated. So relative to most of the plays in the slate, no, it's going to be bad correlation. Relative to most running backs correlation on the slate, Saquon Barkley's to Daniel Jones is going to be better. Saquon's just a better after-the-catch guy. You expect more targets for Saquon Barkley. And then it's going to be pretty close between Big Ben and Connor, and I would assume Drew Lock and whoever you think sees more targets in the backfield of Denver. I will lean for that to probably be. You also have to factor in Jalen Samuel probably sees a target or two. I would say that Melvin Gordon and James Conner look like similar correlation plays today. If you're asking me, can you stack them together? Yes, not even like for correlation reasons. Just a 2-game slate to take advantage of an offense. Yeah. Alrighty, I'm just updating stuff on my end quickly. making sure everything went out on Patreon, so everything's good. If something's wrong there in terms of projections or something, let me know. Unless something happens with Sutton changing, we should be all mucho a gusto to go. Yeah, I see a bunch of people hopping over onto Twitter saying that they're watching the stream, so shout out to you guys. Vance McDonald thoughts. I actually have Vance McDonald tonight, believe it or not. So let me actually move to my tight ends and make sure I have Vance McDonald start. So I'm going to put Vance McDonald 2 now in X, but hear me out. I have 3 lineups as of my most recent crunch, like 2 minutes ago. I only have 3 lineups with Vance McDonald in them. So don't jump up and down. There's almost 1,000 of you in here on a Monday Night Football stream. So hit that like button. Hit the big old subscribe button as we push towards 28,000 subscribers. And then the big number, the 30. I don't know why that's a big number. It just got a bunch of zeros on it, 30,000. But what up, everybody? Hit the like button, all that stuff. So yeah, Vance McDonald, I have in 3 lineups as of my most recent crunch. If I take him out, it's just going to give me somebody else. So I don't really want 3 lineups of Vance McDonald. I don't really see the upside in Vance McDonald. Ebron is obviously going to be on the field in the red zones. You're hoping that Vance McDonald at a cheap price point does something somewhere else. So there's a chance by the time that I end the stream in probably like a half hour, and by the time that I upload, I just X out Vance McDonald so I just don't get 3 lineups with him. I might just leave them and hope that variance falls into like a 50-yard touchdown for McDonald for some play action, right? Something weird. It could happen. But yeah, odds are that I'm probably not going to be getting a ton of Vance McDonald. Definitely not a ton, but I might actually X him out. Sal, did you check on how to do slow-mo? Says Steve, keeping the train going. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Yeah, Mike, I actually didn't. I fucking forgot. After that stream ended on Sunday, I like immediately met my buddy downtown. Very cool spot. And we're just watching the games. I just forgot about the slow-mo thing. Does Tate being out help Ingram? Yes, it gave Ingram a projection bump for me. A lot of the times, I mean, when Tate goes out in the middle of the field and Ingram operates in the middle of the field a lot, obviously tight end in the line goes into the slot. Sometimes, not a ton. Never blocks, though, so you know he's running routes when they're actually passing. It did bump him up. And not only did it bump him up, it bumped up Slayton to an extent, but it gave a huge bump to Sterling Shepard. Like, I'm talking like 2.5 fantasy points, which doesn't sound like a huge bump, but when the guy's projected for 12 and now he's projected for 14 and change, that is a big difference. Yeah, it gave Evan Ingram a bump for me. Nothing major, like I think maybe a point, which is just really coming off of the back of like an extra target. Half of a reception, something like that. Judy or Johnson straight up? Judy. Daily Sports Fans, only $5. What are your thoughts on Cam Akers or Antonio Gibson future after week 1? Both on my team, and I'm feeling a bit nervous. So yeah, Cam Akers actually evaded 5 tackles. Like, Cam Akers himself, independent of his offensive line, was good. But the offensive line was probably dead last in the league last year, and it did not look good in that game. And then you also have Malcolm Brown being there, and he actually looked decent. They were giving him goal line work. So I'd be a little bit concerned, especially with Darrell Henderson Jr. not being there. We saw Malcolm Brown get a big role last week 1, though, so it could just be kind of easing the rookie in. But Brown looked decent. He got a lot of work and the red zone work, which is exactly what happened week 1 last year. And then Gurley came back and didn't do much. So I'd be a little bit concerned. Antonio Gibson, your upside is the fact that he's the best player in the backfield. He had, I think, let me see this. He had... Yeah, so from what I could see, Antonio Gibson had the second most snaps on the team, which is good to see. But yeah, you're hoping for, these guys are rookies, right? You're not expecting huge splashes right away like you're about to get from CHE, you're about to get from Jonathan Taylor. I think that after a month of the season is when you can really evaluate them. I think that there's a lot of upside before then. Fernando Medina, $2. Sutton out. Who are we picking? Jerry Jeudy is going to be the guy from that team that sees the most of my ownership because of that at the wide receiver core. But bumps will go to Deshaun Hamilton. Bumps will go to Tim Patrick. I have 2% Tim Patrick. And right now I'm only getting 1% Hamilton. But I have Hamilton playing out as a better play. It's just the way that it's between the two of them. It's just the way that it's building into my lineups right now. Jerry Jeudy, I have the most of out of that wide receiver core. Don't have a lot of that wide receiver core in general. A lot of my wide receivers are pretty much coming from the Giants. And then have decent average amounts of pretty much every single Steelers receiver. And then A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown just looks great. I'm not sure if Corey Davis is dealing with an injury. I think he was questionable for this game, but I think he practiced in full, if I recall, on Saturday. I think that's like the only other offensive injury news that could possibly come out. But if I'm wrong, somebody can just let me know. Sterling Shepard for cash. Yep, he looks like my favorite wide receiver right now. Big Sal, Deontay Johnson or Darius Slayton? I have more Darius Slayton right now. I'll move over to some of these other things. Let me check on the Superdraft lobbies. Again, if you're not already over there, they're sponsoring this show and the channel for a while now. I like Superdraft a lot. I like the format, multiplier format, no salaries. It's just you have projections, you know how to make projections, or you know where to find projections. You should be good as long as they're decent projections. Right now, the 7:15, which is going to start in a little over an hour, there's still a lot of space left in this contest. Okay, yeah, this is, It's only 58% full with an hour to go. So I would guess that it gets to top 75% full, but that's only if like other shows are going to push people towards it, which I don't really know how many other people are sponsoring Superdraft these days. So Sal, do you have Henry? Do you believe Henry will start catching passes? So there's not much behind him, right? Like his receptions have gone up each year. Some people want to speculate that he's going to see 30 or 40 targets. I can't go there right away. But yeah, I mean, I have Henry projected for 2 targets and like a reception and a half tonight, right? So that's pretty much just going to get you your normal like 20 or 1.2 projections. Like that pretty much projects out for his season average to be like a 20 reception season, right? 21 receptions, whatever it comes out to directly. So on the season, yeah, I think he'll catch more than his career average, but that's just where it's trending anyways. Is having A.J. Brown and Juju okay for tonight? Yeah, I'm not high on Juju, but having both of them, I'm sure I have lineups with that. I got 20% Juju. I have 73% A.J. Brown, so I'm sure they're going to overlap somewhere in my lineups, yeah. No fading King Henry. No, I'm not fading him. Have 50% right now. What's up, Sal? What's going on, Jack? How you doing? Was watching the Millie, the second place guy lost $800K in the Kamara TD callback. Oh, my God. Oh, no. He would have won the Millionaire Maker, you're saying? Oh, no. That is brutal. 995 people in here. Damn, we're close to 1,000 people watching this live. That's crazy. What's up? What's up? Monday night. Who would you captain between Saquon and Big Ben? If you're telling me pick one, I go Saquon. Is it fine if I play the Giants defense? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't even know. I literally have not even looked at my ownership towards defenses. Getting a lot of the Titans-Broncos game for defenses, it appears. Makes sense. Lower total, higher overall projections overall. Chase Claypool, a viable option. I only have one lineup as of my most recent update. I think I still have one with Chase Claypool in it. But, yeah, I don't expect to get a lot. Corey Davis, question mark. I have 11% Corey Davis tonight. Doesn't seem like the best 11%, but it's just a factor of the overall price point really there. And assuming he sees like 4 to 6 projection or targets, right? 5 targets I think I have him down for. Corey Davis is a real sleeper. Yeah, I think he seems okay. I don't know what his ownership is going to be. Over 1,000 people. What up, everybody? Like button. Smash the subscribe button. I appreciate that a ton. Yeah, I don't know what his overall ownership is really going to be. If I had to guess, Corey Davis does not pop off for ownership, right? Especially with so many other guys that look like great plays now in that low 4K range, from the Steelers to even if people want to go double tight end lineups. I don't even know if I have any of them. I didn't check off the box, so I assume that I do. I'm okay going double tight end. There's so many wide receivers and 4 really good running backs in the slate. You can argue with me 5 viable ones that you don't have to go double tight end, but it's not out of the question by any means. Yeah, I don't expect Corey Davis to be that highly owned. I still think I'm going to be below the field on him, though, because, I mean, when you have a guy in the 3K range who's projecting out his value for anybody with half-decent projections, then, yeah, he's going to be looking like a good play. I currently have 11% Corey Davis. I would guess he's at least 15% owned. If I had to put a number on it and bet on it, I would say he's going to be like 17 to 18% owned Corey Davis. Maybe pushes 20. Does Ratley or Board become a deep type play with Golden Tate out? Yeah, so CJ Board, former Jacksonville Jaguar, would be the other depth piece. I think Ratley sees more work. I think that's why they signed him. I don't think they're going to be viable. You need a touchdown, right? You need like a Ratley, 1 reception, 2 targets, 30-yard touchdown, right? And I'm just not going to be betting on that. So I have Ratley projected for 4 points. I have Board not even in my projections right now. I could put Board in my projections, but he would be projected for literally 7 points if I put him in there. Take Connor out for Gordon and put Sterling in, or keep Connor in and leave Sterling out. I think the answer is both. I prefer Sterling over Connor, but the answer is both. Actually, that's a lie. I have more Sterling, but that's just because of the positionality. I have Connor projected for more points, if you want to go based off of that. But Sterling is a much better point per dollar play. How many Giants players are too many? Yeah, right? Honestly, like my highest owned player at every single position is a Giant. Running back, by far, Giant. Wide receiver, by far, a Giant. Tight end, not even close, a Giant. Quarterback, Giant. So, yeah, it seems like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, I have my rule set to give me no more than 4 from a team, but I think I'm going to have to change that to 5. You just have to start to get really you have to start to set rules to, if you're going to put 5 guys in your lineup, you got to set some specific rules. So I currently have it just give me 4-man stacks at most, right? So I can have a lineup that has, I'm fine with 4-man stacks. I could have a lineup that has Daniel Jones, like for an example, Daniel Jones, Saquon, Evan Ingram, and Sterling Shepard. I'm okay with that. It's when you start to put Darius Slayton in there as your 5th guy and you're just getting all 5 guys that look like good plays. That's where I start to get a little bit, yes, it's obviously possible, but you need a huge game. Like, to support 3 receivers and a running back, I mean, you're going to need at least 4 touchdowns on your offense, if not more, especially at all their price points, mainly Saquon's price point, right? when there are other viable plays in the slate. You need those 2 receivers and that tight end to outbeat everybody else at their positions for the most part. So that's where I really don't want to be going to too much. So I think I'm going to leave it at 4. Sal, I knew you'd be rocking the KJ Hamler jersey live today. I don't got no KJ Hamler jersey on, but yeah, shout out Penn State. Yeah, shout out Penn State, shout out KJ Hamler. Hopefully the Hammy's doing good for Hamler. What do we got here? Ain't no stop motion. Just donated $10 to the stream. He says, hey, Sal, you helped me get second in the 12K person singular and chain. Won $2,000 on Thursday. Thank you. Nice. What is your highest team stack exposure for tonight? Well, first of all, congrats on 2K on Thursday. A lot of people had success on Thursday. Graham or Mike or somebody in the Discord won $47,000. I woke up to that and I was like, shout out to you. I think that was a split for first place or probably second or something like that. A couple people won 7K, a couple people won 1 to 2K in the Discord. So yeah, you were the most recent winner. So shout out you. My highest stack right now is the Giants. I have 64% Giant stacks. And then the rest is just kind of filtering in Titans, Denver, and Pittsburgh. Yeah, I seem to be all in on the Giants tonight, which, I mean, feels okay. 6-point underdogs, passing situation, best running back on the slate, best tight end on the slate, and now the best value plays in the slate at receiver, in my opinion. It seems too straightforward, right? It seems like this obviously isn't going to work out now, but, I mean, I'm not going to be boosting down projections of players for no reason, right? Like, if I'm trying to be building rational lineups, the rationality here is that reason. If I'm not answering your question by any means, I'm sorry. If you leave a super chat, I definitely will because I'll see it. It pops up big, right? But there's almost 1,100 people in here now, so I appreciate all of you. Over 10,000 or over 1,000. Are you playing Superdraft tonight? Yeah, I'm going to. They're not even going to fill. Is it okay to start Big Ben and the Giants defense? Yes, it's okay to start players against the defense tonight. Quarterbacks against the defense is another story, but it's okay in a 2-game slate. I'm scared of 33% Corey Davis. You're definitely above the field at 33%. I would bet a good amount of money on. Hey, Sal, what do you think of a 4-man Giant stack and still play the Pittsburgh defense? Teams playing from behind against a good defense, playing from... Yeah, I don't want to do 4-man Giant stacks against the Pittsburgh defense. Again, I don't hate it because if the Pittsburgh defense has a kickoff return for a touchdown or a fumble recovery for a touchdown, right, and they get 10 points, that's all they need on a 2-game slate. So if you told me, I would say I don't like it. If you told me, should I change it? No, I think it's okay, but for a 4-man Giant stack, for that to really pay off, you need kind of a ceiling game, right? You want them to score 25-plus points. And a lot more times than not, that's going to hurt the defense. But again, you just need 1 pick 6, right? Actually, the more that I think about it, I actually don't mind it, right? If you get a pick 6, if Daniel Jones throws a pick 6, that has to be, I would say, better for Daniel Jones, right? He gets the ball right back, the defense scores, so I'm actually fine with it. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't have any rules against it, so I guess I'm fine with it. Somebody says stay away from the Giants. I mean, if you're talking about betting the Giants, yeah, they're 6-point underdogs. If you're talking about DFS, where salaries matter and projections matter, I don't know how you don't like the Giants tonight. I mean, I don't. Steelers defense is fine. It's good, right? I think they're a little bit overrated as a team in general, just assuming Big Ben is going to be Big Ben again. But, yeah, to me, it looks completely fine. The price points are just too good. No Golden Tate, Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, way, way too cheap now. Drew Lock ownership, question mark. What ownership do I have to Drew Lock? Not a lot. My lowest owned, I think, quarterback. I have 12% Drew Lock. Best quarterback play, question mark. Daniel Jones, Ryan Tannehill, Ben Roethlisberger are all pretty similar in my ownership. Daniel Jones is peaking through it the most right now. Jonnu Smith ownership. My ownership on Jonnu, all the tight ends not named Evan Ingram are pretty much all like 10% owned for me. Sterling Shepard or Evan Ingram, who does Minkah Fitzpatrick cover? I mean, Minkah's going to focus on tight ends more times than not. That doesn't mean he's going to be guaranteed to be covering him. I don't actually think... Let me actually check this. I don't actually think that you're going to see Minkah on a tight end tonight. Let me pull this up for Evan Ingram for historical trends with this team. Yeah, no, you're not going to see Minkah there. I mean, first of all, it's going to be linebackers more than anything. It's a secondary spot that you start to see those types of guys like Minkah come in. But I think you're going to see more so linebackers, like a Devin Bush or somebody along those lines. Hit the like, somebody says. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Sal, how do you feel about Adam Humphrey? I can't get there. I think he's going to play the snaps. I don't know how many 3 wide receiver sets they go to. I have 1% Adam Humphrey right now. I just can't really get there. You have so many guys in that price range that look a lot better. Defense doesn't matter. I'm playing the Giants to save salary. Yeah, that seems okay to me. Ebron, question mark. Yeah. If your name was not Evan Ingram, I pretty much have 10% of you at tight end tonight. Congrats, Ano. Yeah, congrats, Ano, for $2,000 win. On Superdraft, play Gordon and Lindsey. I would lean Gordon more so there and get to just another running back option. Juju or Deontay Johnson in Superdraft? Let me pull that up. Pulling it up now, 1 second. Thoughts on James Washington? Seems okay. I have the same ownership to like all the Pittsburgh receivers. Pretty much 15 to 20% on all three of the starters. Not much on Claypool. So let me pull up Juju versus Deontay. Juju's got what, the 1 point or the 2.4x multiplier. That's a champion spot. Let me pull up my projections. Juju 1.6. Deontay 2.1. I would lean there to go to Deontay. Are you playing one of Barkley or Henry, or are you trying to squeeze in both? So I have 150 lineups crunched out right now. Some lineups have one, some have both. So ideally, I'm probably just playing, if you're playing one lineup, I would play Barkley and not play both and get other running backs in the slate. But I personally, the exact answer to that is I have both. I'm playing some with and some without. What is the contest you were talking about that is only 50% full? Shout out Mark Turner. He donates $15. Thank you, Mark. He says, single game, Pittsburgh versus Giants. Who is your 5? Single game, Pittsburgh versus Giants. Who is my 5? Mark, can you clarify that? I don't know if you're asking me to build you a lineup right now. I mean, I got 150 in here right now. Pittsburgh versus Giants. You're asking me to build you a lineup. I mean, I can't do that. I got so many lineups. I'm not playing the single game slate. The guys that I do like though from that game, Pittsburgh versus Giants, is Saquon, Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. I would lean the Pittsburgh receiver the most that I like, point per dollar wise, Deontay Johnson. But yeah, I mean, 5 guys if you're playing a showdown that stand out to me at least. James Conner, Saquon, Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, and then the 5th guy if you want a quarterback in there, otherwise Darius Slayton. I have no idea if that fits or anything. Thanks for giving us all the free detail. You are the legend. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. Think Judy is going to get too much defensive attention with Sutton out? Without Sutton? Yes and no. They're not going to double team him, right? I mean, any wide receiver rarely gets double teamed these days. DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams are just going off. You just can't double team receivers these days unless you really want to go all out at the goal line against like Julio Jones or Calvin Johnson back in the day. You have too much of a disadvantage with the way that offenses and skill players are these days to be running double teams against wide receivers. You're leaving yourself vulnerable to a one-on-one matchup somewhere, and most of the times wide receiver 2s and 3s on teams can win that matchup, or even tight ends. Alrighty. Let's see where we're at. How long have we been live? 40 minutes. All right, cool. We'll stay for like 15, 20 more. AJ Green versus Harris. Harris doesn't play in Denver. It's not the same Harris. It's not, you're thinking that it's Chris Harris. It's not Chris Harris. It's a different Harris. AJ Brown, sorry. Yeah, so somebody commented that. It's not the same Harris. I would be well aware. I mean, I broke down Harris playing in the slot against Harris playing in the slot for the Chargers against Tyler Boyd, and that's why it was not a very good play. But AJ Brown's playing Devontae Harris today. If I do say so myself, that might be the best matchup on the entire slate tonight. With Sutton out, who gets the biggest bump? It makes me like Judy the most. He doesn't necessarily get the biggest bump. The biggest bumps are going to go to his fill-ins, which are Tim Patrick / Deshaun Hamilton. With Tate out for the Giants, how do you feel about their receivers? Love Sterling Shepard now. Like Slayton a little bit more, but more so love Sterling Shepard. He's going to get a lot more slot usage tonight, as you're going to be seeing guys like Ratley go to the outside, CJ Board go to the outside. Daniel Jones loves throwing to the slot. Make no mistake about it. Shepard played 47% of his snaps out of the slot last year when Golden Tate was injured, but then Golden Tate came in and played 80+% out of there. Golden Tate is now out. Shepard, I assume, to play a lot of his snaps out of the slot, which is when he had his most productive games in his entire career, are out of the slot. Like most receivers. James Conner is going to have over 100 yards. Okay. Can you show the running back page? There you go. James Washington, Ebron, Jonnu, or Humphreys. If I'm picking one of those guys, I'll go James Washington for the upside downfield. Kind of have to play Judy here, right? Question mark. I have 35% Judy. I feel good about that. He's in 52% of my lineups, or 52 overall lineups out of 150. I can't get much more. I don't know how to. When I have Sterling Shepard projected out for so much more at a similar price point, right? And I'm getting a decent amount of all the Steelers receivers. When Slayton is a similar price point, I have him projected better. And then A.J. Brown just looks like the best wide receiver play now, just point overall projection-wise, not point per dollar. What is your strategy if you play Yahoo for cash games? Yeah, so I personally don't play Yahoo. I haven't played Yahoo in I think probably a year plus. So I don't know what their prices are. But cash games would be to try to get 3 pass catcher running backs with high overall touches in there. Is Judy the number 1 target with Sutton out? He's a rookie, so we don't know exactly how this is going to play out. I think he's the number 1 skilled player on this team. That's where I'll lean. But I would not be shocked to see Melvin Gordon lead the team with 7 targets, right? And Judy only gets 6. Hey Sal, which Giants wide receiver is your favorite over on the Superdraft? On the Superdraft. Yeah, let me so it's probably going to be Shepard at 1.7. It's going to be close with Slayton. Like Slayton and Shepard with that extra difference of 30%. Like Slayton goes to 2x. It makes it a little bit closer, but it's still going to be Shepard. Shepard or Brown? I have more Shepard, but the answer might be both. Who's having the bigger night, Slayton or Melvin Gordon? I have Melvin Gordon projected for more. All right, we're almost caught up to message, I think, unless they're all about to pop up. So yeah, we got 1,100 people in here. What's up, what's up, what's up? Mark Turner says, would you play Ebron or Evan Ingram over either Deontay Johnson or Slayton? I'm playing Slayton tonight. I would play... That's tough. Ingram and Deontay Johnson I projected out very closely. I would say Deontay Johnson has a higher downfield ceiling for like a one big, huge play. I'm going to go with Ebron there, or Ingram. I'm going to go Evan Ingram and Slayton out of those four. Why do you have Barkley versus Oakland? That is bothering me. It's probably just not pulling over right. I'll fix it right now for you. Bang. There you go. Quick fix. I think I had typed in Oakland here to fix whatever was in here from the main 12-game slate to just fix some Las Vegas type of thing that I have to switch on my back end. So I just typed it in for whoever was playing Oakland up here this week, which was probably McCaffrey. That's why he was all the way up top, right? That makes sense. Tannehill or Jones? I'll go Jones there, but I think both are fine. Vance McDonald or Snell for a sneaky play? I don't think either a sneaky play, but Vance McDonald. Will James Conner do good? I have him projected out good. Do you think Johnson is going to eat tonight? I have him projected as an okay play. I would not say eat, but I think his ceiling is definitely being... I'm not going to say the top scorer on the slate, but wide receiver is probably top 2 or 3. Sal, go to your stream settings, then live chat to enable slow mode. What does that do? But I'll do it, yeah. Stream. Can I do it while live, or is this going to fuck shit up? You still live right now? Live chat, enable slow mode. There we go. Bang. 60 seconds between messages. What should I set it to? 3 seconds? I don't really mind if the messages come in quick, but I'll set it to 3 seconds between messages. What do you think is a good idea? Let's try that. Let's try 3 seconds between messages. Over 1,100 people. Everybody in here. Like button, subscribe button. We're an hour away from lock right now. Slow mode is on for every 3 seconds. Is that too much? I want these messages to come in. What do you think about Jerry Jeudy, ? Jerry Jeudy I have as a good play. He's my favorite player from that team. I have 35% ownership to him. He is my 4th highest owned wide receiver. A.J. Brown or Jerry Jeudy? Yep, you're good. 3's good. Okay, good. A.J. Brown or Jerry Jeudy? I will go, or Juju. I will go A.J. Brown. Is there any worth with Gordon or Lindsey? Yeah, I think Gordon looks like a great play. Ebron thoughts. I have about 10% of every tight end that is remaining that is not named Evan Ingram. So the other 3 starting tight ends I have about 10% of. Drop Rieger for Joshua Kelly or Malcolm Brown? I would keep Rieger. I would try and get Joshua Kelly on your team, but I would keep Rieger. He led that team in snaps at the wide receiver position. I don't know why you would want to drop him. What do you think about having Barkley, Henry, and Connor? I think that seems okay to me. Would you go Connor or Melvin Gordon? I'll go Connor there, but I have Melvin Gordon as a better point per dollar play. I have Connor projected for 3 more points. Would you go Evan Ingram? Would you go Ingram or Slayton as a flex option? I have Ingram projected for more. Your higher ceiling is going to be Slayton, though. So it depends on what your other Giants are, but I will lean there to go Slayton. I would hope that you had Ingram in the tight end spot, but yeah, I'll go Slayton. You're going to be more unique if you have 2 tight ends, though. Sal, you're running with 3 running back wide receiver tight ends with quarterback being a 2-game slate. Yeah, I have my overall exposure to 4 players from a team. So yes, I can get a quarterback with 3 of his pass catchers or 3 of his teammates tonight because it's a 2-game slate. Exactly. Do you buy into the news that Connor is a true bell cow? For now, until he gets hurt, which is inevitable. So yeah, for week 1, yes. Who's your favorite quarterback running back duo play from the same team, or should I stay away from that? I think it's fine to do. I think it's Daniel Jones and Saquon just because I have so much Saquon. Do you think Henry will do good? He's my 4th highest owned running back. I have him in 50% of my lineups exactly, 75 total. I think he'll do okay. I think Saquon will do better, and I think Connor and Gordon will do better point per dollar wise. That's why I have more of them. Keep Rieger or Campbell? I want to keep both. It's as simple as that. I definitely want to keep both. Rieger's arguably, he operated as a number 1 wide receiver on his team in his first game as a rookie with a bad offensive line that he went up against, or his team went up against, and Campbell was the number 1 wide receiver on that team. He had the same amount of targets as T.Y. Hilton, but he had the best rapport with Phillip Rivers right away. So I want to keep both. Hamilton or Patrick? The answer for me there is I have 2% Patrick and no Hamilton. I do have Hamilton projecting out better point per dollar wise, but I guess I have 2% Hamilton or 2% Patrick. So I guess it's the answer. Thanks for the help. Yeah, no problem at all. Is having $0 left over bad? If you're unique, no. But if you're trying, so odds are on a 2-game slate, if you have $0 left over, you're probably duplicating that lineup unless you're very unique within it somehow, right? A very low owned play. I don't have any settings though, so I guess the answer is no. Like, it's okay if you split it 12 ways. I don't want to. 350,000. Like, I guess it's okay, but I don't have any settings in to not get 50K left. Usually on Showdowns, I'll put settings in, but I didn't for this because I think I can get unique enough. Slow mode is great to stop spammers and people asking the same questions, kind of, so thanks. Yeah, okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was easy enough to do. Thanks for the walkthrough. Do you have a favorite lineup? Aaron Rodgers in every single spot. Lowest total ownership pick you'll have the most of tonight? Yeah, that's a good question. I have ownership factored into my stuff, but I don't really analyze it a shit ton. What's up, Sal? I don't comment much on streams, but just want to know, appreciate all your videos. Great info all the time. Thanks, Luis. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. So ownership tonight on guys that are going to be lower owned, you're trying to say, right? I don't really know. I don't know if anybody's going to be low owned. I don't think there's going to be much low owned guys that I won't be. I'll probably be above the field on Gordon. If Gordon comes in 25 or 30% owned, I'm going to be easily above the field on that number for Melvin Gordon tonight. He's my third highest owned running back at 60+% ownership. So I'm going to assume it's Gordon because everybody loves Derrick Henry. If they're not using projections, they're going to automatically side Derrick Henry in their lineup and try and squeeze in Saquon. And then I can only assume people are going to James Conner over Melvin Gordon. I would assume Melvin Gordon is only going to be 25 to 30% owned. And I'm going to be well above that. How do you think about starting these 4 Giants? Daniel Jones, Saquon, Slayton, and Ingram. Yeah, seems fine. Wait, just thought of this. Could be dumb. Is 2 tight ends silly like Ingram and Ebron? No, on a 2-game slate, it's not. On a main slate, I usually check it off so I can't get 2 tight ends because I think that wide receivers on the entire slate in general have more upside, and that's true. I would assume I don't have a lot of 2 tight end lineups tonight. I didn't set a rule against it, though, so I might have some. I would assume I don't have a lot, but I would assume I have a couple handful. It's not silly on a 2-game slate because if Ebron has a 2-touchdown game and Ingram goes for 70 and a touchdown, yeah, it's fine. And that's a definitely possible outcome. So I don't think it's high upside, but I think it's okay. Elevation going to get Gordon tired quick. Does he have asthma or something? I actually don't know why that would be. Aaron Rodgers or Aaron Rodgers for the defense? Aaron Rodgers. If you would have taken Aaron Rodgers in every lineup yesterday, you would have made some bank. Yeah, or Devontae Adams, right? KJ Hamler at all tonight? I currently have 0% KJ. Don't forget, Melvin Gordon having a hard time dealing with elevation. Yeah, I saw those reports. I don't know how much I buy into him. Please do, before you go, hit the subscribe button. We're going to go for 10 more minutes. 1,100 people in here. I know every single person's not subscribed. Hit that like button to a couple seconds. And big old subscribe button. Appreciate that. Bottom right-hand corner, totally free. So the schedule is the Monday Night Football video obviously went out. We have a Thursday Night Football video coming out Wednesday, a betting video coming out Wednesday. Tomorrow's the first look video, and I'll be live at 11 a.m. with Awesomo's show for a first look. Thursday, live at noon, right here, same place. If you hit the like or if you hit the subscribe and notification bell, you'll be notified. Live at noon for a Stardom Cinema show. Live Thursday night for Thursday Night Football show. Friday, closing thoughts video. Saturday, nothing. Sunday, live before the game start for an hour, 10 to 11 or so. That is the schedule. That's the YouTube schedule. There's also Patreon content, projections, rankings, closing thoughts, podcasts. Last week was a 22-page game-by-game notes. There was 12 games last week. There's 13 games this week, so it's going to probably be more than 22 pages. But, yeah, they're fun to do, and I think they help a lot of people. You get the contextual information of, these are the matchups. These is every single matchup. These are the player statistics, all this stuff. Very well in-depth 22 pages. But then you also get the projections and the data and the rankings to kind of get the whole picture on the week. Would you rather play a running back or flex at the flex spot, not just for tonight, but for the Sunday main slates? I would rather a running back, but I don't check off wide receivers, so I don't really have a preference there, right? Pass catching running backs are obviously have a lot of upside. They get the most touches. They get a lot of goal line work. They have the best opportunities around the goal line. Normally, they'll see 5 or 6 touches if they're an elite guy in a game that has high scoring, whereas a wide receiver might only see 1 to 2 red zone targets, right? So more opportunity overall. Why is Humphrey a no? I just don't have any Humphrey. I have 1% Humphrey, so the other guys priced around Humphrey right now. So to finish your question, running backs, if I could pick, I would choose, especially in cash, pass catching running backs. But I don't have a preference. Look at this week. It depends on the week. When Devontae Adams is $7,300, a total misprice, how are you not going there, right? When, even though he didn't pop off, Allen Robinson this weekend is $6,500, right? When Paris Campbell is $3,900 as operating as arguably in camp, the wide receiver 1 for the Colts, and for some reason people didn't want to own him like that. It depends on the week. If there's value, $7,300 Devontae Adams, you can fit more wide receivers in. Getting up to Julio, right? Fair price point. $6,900 DeAndre Hopkins goes off for 16 targets or whatever it was, right? Juju or Connor at the flex? I'll go Connor. Shepard or Johnson? I'll go Shepard. Ebron or Ingram? Definitely Ebron or Ingram there. Sal, tell Superdraft we need more single entry contests. All right, I will. Keep an eye on the Broncos rookie tight end. Locke and Big O having Albert O. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much he's going to get on the field with Fan in front of him. That's the issue. Like, they can have chemistry in camp, but when it comes down to game time, he's definitely not going to be there. Subscribe in all 3 of my accounts. Don't ask. I got banned a lot. Appreciate it. Does Fan's targets jump with Sutton out? I mean, maybe by 1. They didn't really do anything for me. I didn't change anything for Fan. The thing that I was really changing was the fill-ins, right? I gave an extra target pretty much to Jerry Jeudy, and I changed the fill-ins of Tim Patrick and Deshaun Hamilton, but nothing really for Fan in the middle of the field. Hoping for a special teams Danny Dimes tonight. Yeah, it should be fun to watch. I actually like Daniel Jones. Nobody talks about the leap that Daniel Jones can take this year. He has all the weapons, quote-unquote, an improved offensive line, a healthy Saquon. I mean, the goal is that they have an improved defense. Their secondary was terrible. They got Logan Ryan. They got James Bradbury, 2 very underrated cornerbacks at their specific positions outside and then slot cornerback for Logan Ryan. So I don't know if the Giants will be anywhere near a contender. They're not expected to be, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Daniel Jones take a big step forward this year. Jeudy benefits from Sutton being out. Yes. I think so. What's your best stack? I have the most stacks of the Giants. Will Brown get 11 points? I haven't projected for more than 11. Which also, on the show this morning, I called out some stuff on Monkey Knife Fight. Monkey Knife Fight does not change their overall props immediately. So if you were able to get in there for stuff like Sterling Shepard's over now, looks fantastic. Like, let's look at Monkey Knife Fight. Again, promo code SALNFL, you'll get free $5 ticket. You'll get my 10 hours daily fantasy sports course for NFL. I assume the number has now moved since it's been a while since Golden Tate got ruled out, but we'll see. Maybe they're slowing it. I assume a lot of people are hammering this right before the lock. So let's check. Over-under, Sterling Shepard. Is he still on here? Sterling Shepard's fantasy points are, I think they took it off? No way. Dang, they really took Sterling Shepard's fantasy points off for the over-under. It was 12.5 this morning. I'm not seeing it now, but it was 12.5 this morning, and I have him now projected for over 14, so it's obviously a great spot. I still like Saquon's over there. James Conner's pretty much perfect where he's at. But yeah, I still like Saquon's over. I still like Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's over is only 10.5. So Evan Ingram on Monkey Knife Fight looks very good. So go over there, deposit. Monkey Knife Fight. Get yourself $5, 10 hours free course. Yes, Sutton is out. Yes. Hey, Sal, love all the content. Who is recover 1 for the Titans? And who is your top defense? I have a lot of the just Titans and Denver defenses. It's just random. I don't have a stance on it. It's just what I get. Who is recover 1? So receiver 1 for the Titans is A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown without question. Loving the content, Sal. Looking forward to another solid year. Thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you. We have over a bunch of people in here. I appreciate you all. Thank you. If you had to drop one of Barkley, Shepard, Ingram, who would it be? Definitely not Barkley for me. It would be... That's tough. It would be Ingram. Shepard's too much of a good value. Barkley obviously is the upside and just, for me, an awesome play. The only reason I'm dropping Ingram there, I have so much Ingram, is because like a touchdown difference. If any of those other tight ends score a touchdown, they're going to produce very similar to Ingram. Sal, which lineup optimizer do you use? Since I am a contractor for Osmo, right? I do a show a week right now, sometimes 2 to 3, depending on the time of the year. I use Fantasy Cruncher. I get it for free. I've used other ones in the past, but I can't really speak to all the optimizers out there. I'm not sponsored by Fantasy Cruncher or anything like that. I just use it. I get it for free. I go in through Osmo, and I use Fantasy Cruncher. AJ Brown or James Conner as a flex play? I will go. That's a really good question, actually. I'll go Conner there, but that's a really good question. Lindsey or Fant on Superdraft? That's another good question. Let me see what I got there. Projection wise, I got to pull up that game in my projections. I'm on the first game for Superdraft. Steelers defense is ass. Well, Steelers defense last year was absolutely phenomenal. Like top 5 in every single category. Arguably the best pass rush. Arguably the best run stop. They were really good. Last year that was, of course. Which 2 Bronco receivers would you play in a single entry? I would play Jerry Jeudy, and I really don't want to play another one after that. So yeah, Noah Fant would be the second receiver. If you're saying straight up wide receivers, flip a coin between Deshaun Hamilton and Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick's going to have more downfield upside. Hamilton's going to probably see more overall targets just because a shorter range. And I don't really trust, 1, Tim Patrick's separation, and 2, Drew Lock to get him that separation. Drew Lock couldn't even get Courtland Sutton the ball downfield last year, right? He saw more targets, but not more overall conversions when he took over. So I don't know how much I feel about Tim Patrick getting the ball downfield. So right now, let me see Lindsey overall. So Lindsey's got, the 3.25 in the captain spot. So you want Lindsey or Fant right now? I'm going to be going there with probably Lindsey, 2.15, and then Fant comes in with a 2.2. Yeah, I'm gonna go Lindsey barely. I have Lindsey projected for like 2 more points in that situation. Deontay Johnson or Judy? We got a donation from the O Carey. Judy there. Jerry Judy there. That's my answer. Sal, if you could hang out, who do you choose? Remember, I got your drinks. I don't know the answer to that. Which 2 Bronco receivers would you play in a single? We just answered that one. All right. Will Daniel Jones be low owned? I highly doubt it. Low owned relative to quarterbacks, right? Like that's what we're talking about here. That's what it all matters if you're trying to leverage the field. It's going to be at quarterbacks. I have more ownership than Daniel Jones is right now in the field, but I think Drew Lock will be low owned, but deservingly so. And then I think Ben Roethlisberger will be the highest owned, and I would assume Daniel Jones is higher owned than Ryan Tannehill, but I don't think it'll be a wide gap. Like on a 4-game slate tonight, I would assume that you're going to see 40% ownership on Big Ben. You're going to see 30% ownership on both like Daniel Jones, Ryan Tannehill, and then you're going to see like 15% on Drew Lock, if that even adds up. 30, 15, or what did I say? 40, 30, 30. So you got to like come down like 25% maybe on Daniel Jones and Tannehill, 15 on Drew Lock to get you to 100% since you can only play one quarterback. So Daniel Jones, based on my ownership, yeah, I'm above the field on him. It's nothing crazy though. Like I'm kind of in line with the ownership. Like I'm barely above the field on Daniel Jones from at least my expectations. I'm probably with the field on Drew Lock and Ryan Tannehill, and I assume I'm going to be below the field on Big Ben, but nothing crazy. Sup, Sal, a Brown or Ingram for flex? A Brown or Ingram? And AJ Brown, definitely. All right, I'm about to wrap this thing up. We've been live exactly an hour now. So I'm about to bounce 1,000 people in here. Before you go, please do hit the like and subscribe. I'll answer a couple of these final questions. But thank you. I appreciate that in advance. Content coming out tomorrow. Video coming out tomorrow. Will be live on Awesome Show at 11, but video is going to be coming out in the morning. First look for week 2. Got a bunch of information ready, set up, all that type of stuff. Best of luck tonight. Answering these final questions here. Tate is inactive. Yes, he is. Yep. Henry over or under 17.5 points. That's for Monkey Knife Fight. I'll give you the exact projection I have for Henry. You're not going to like it because it's going to be pretty much a push him. I have 17 points for Derrick Henry, 16.8. It would be a pass for me, but if you have to pick it, I guess I'd go there. Awesome stuff as always, Sal. Do you think $1,000 plus is too much to leave on the table for a GPP lineup? If you like your lineup, no. There's definitely lineups you could build tonight that look good that have $1,000 plus on the table. I would assume if I scroll my lineups, I'll find some. This lineup has $300 on the table. This lineup has $400 on the table. Like I'm just $600 on the table, $600 on the table, $800 on the table. So you can definitely leave $1,000 and build a good lineup. $700 on the table, right? I'm just scrolling my lineups right now. $900 on the table, $900 on the table. So yeah, you can definitely build some good lineups and leave $1,000 on the table. Any early thoughts on sneaky shootouts this coming Sunday? I haven't even looked. I barely looked at the Sunday slate for first look type of stuff, so have not really looked too much into it. No early thoughts. I'll get the Vegas totals tomorrow and stuff and look through that. Saquon worth it? Yes, I have 85%, so he looks decent to me. Would you play the Steelers defense if you have Jones and Giants on offense? I don't have a lot of the Steelers defense right now or the Giants. I'm getting a lot of my defenses from Titans and Broncos game. I'm just going to target the worst quarterback on the slate, which to me is Drew Lock. And that's just my analysis. Secondary, like that's not actually why I have them that much. That's just what the optimizer is giving me. I put no thought into the defenses. They all project out pretty similarly for me for the most part, and then it goes through my rules, and then we get what we get. Alrighty. Best of luck, everybody. We've been live for an hour, so I'm about to bounce. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe before you go. Support Superdraft. So Superdraft right now, their main contest, which is going to be, they have 2 main showdowns tonight, but the one that's paying $1,000 more to first place is this 7 o'clock start one, which is in like a half hour exactly. They have a lot of openings in this contest. I'm pulling it up right now to be exact. But that showdown contest, 50% deposit match up to $1,000, promo code SAL. It's linked down below, all the stuff in the description. You get, right now, it's loading so slow for me on my end. I don't know what it is. It might be their website. I think it's just on my end. There's still like 500 spots left in this contest, so be sure to get in there. It's probably not going to fill. I think it gets maybe to 75%, 80% tops. Could you ever go 2 tight ends on a slate? On a small slate, yes. Alrighty, I'm going to peace out. Next time I'll be live is going to be on my channel Thursday twice. For the Thursday night game and Thursday at noon for the Stardom Cinema for week 2. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night. Best of luck. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. You all rock. And I'll see you in the next one.